So we've come to Brunswick County today to visit people who've been hit so hard by this tornado. I just want to commend the first responders, emergency management, the sheriff's department, the state resources. We had highway patrol troopers come down, and all the volunteers that have descended on this community to come together and try to help people recover and to help them deal with the aftermath of this. Our hearts go out to the families of those who've lost their lives, to the person who is still in critical condition, others who have been injured. And in talking with people who've lost their homes but are safe, their priorities are in the right place. People seem to be very thankful that they are alive, even though their homes are damaged and they have a lot to rebuild. I'm here with Chief of Staff of Emergency Management, Will Ray. We're here also to do damage assessments to see what kind of help might be available for people here. But we're grateful for the coordination that has occurred with local and state, and want to continue to help people here. So, Sheriff, would you like to say a word or two?
Well, first, thank you, Governor, for being here, and thank you for all of the state resources that you have sent our way. They've certainly been very helpful. I want everyone to know that our thoughts and prayers continue to be with those affected by this storm. It's going to be a long recovery process, but as we have seen time and again, Brunswick County is a very strong community, and we work together to make sure that we get things back in order and moving forward with our lives. I want to ask everyone to please be respectful of those areas that have been affected by this storm, and if you are not a resident or someone that is assisting in the recovery efforts and the rebuilding process, to please stay out of those areas. The last thing we need is to be inundated with a lot of traffic and onlookers as people are trying to pick up the pieces and begin the recovery process. Again, I want to thank everyone in the community and surrounding communities that have reached out to us and pledged their support, and the donations they've made is truly appreciated. And again, thank you to the Governor and all of those that have assisted us from the state and other local agencies to help our citizens recover from this. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Governor, and thank you, Sheriff Ingram. We could not have done this alone. The partnership we've had in our community with emergency services, our fire departments, and the teamwork with the Sheriff's Department has been unbelievable, and our state resources. This is going to be a community effort. We have the boots on the ground yesterday in the response mode, and we're transitioning to that recovery mode. We have an overwhelming support from our community to a point where we're trying to figure out what they could do and manage it correctly and effectively to get the community back together. It's a true showing of a community, from public safety, schools, to the state government, local government, to the mom and pop businesses that are out there trying to help and provide food, donations, and our corporations that are there ready to support the community. We got a long road ahead of us. We got to be respectful for the families that are in the community. And not only this community that was impacted, we had other areas of our county that were impacted by this. And we want to make sure we give them the proper help and not overburden them. We do have resources in place for as far as trying to find housing, relocation, food service, mental health service is a big thing. So anybody that needs help, feel free to reach out to us, and we'll direct them. If you know a family member, get a hold of us. But like I said, this is a community effort. Let's show everyone how strong we are as Brunswick County. And I said I'm proud to be here as part of Brunswick County and to lead this effort. But we'll get through it with the support of our partners, and we'll get our community back together. But thank you, and thank you, Governor, for coming out today to share your support.
Thank you. We know this community knows how to come together. I was here not too long ago when Hurricane Isaias hit and was so devastating to the Brunswick County community, but people have pulled together and worked to recover from that, and they are resilient, will recover from this as well. we'll now open it up for questions, and I know.
Will there be financial help for this area, and in what form?
Well, already the state has provided resources with State Highway Patrol and other efforts, but what has to happen is a damage assessment to see what the area would qualify for, and that's what is occurring right now. Yes.
Governor Cooper, we've been through the pandemic has been lingering and lingering and lingering, and now you have people that are facing this situation. What message would you share with them?
So I know that this is a difficult time for everybody because of this pandemic, and then to have a storm of this magnitude on top of that just adds extra burdens to communities. But what we've seen here already are people of faith, people who understand the importance of being good neighbors, and it's been amazing to see people pull together. A number of people that I talked to just talked about how close-knit this community is and how they want to reach out. The Homeowners Association is working. So we can pull together and we can be resilient and we can get through this. And our prayers do go to the families who've lost loved ones. That's a devastating situation, I know. Other questions?
Is the state aware of an issue with the KLRX radar? It's a local weather tower that helps predict severe weather. It's something that NOAA's been going after for several years. Is the state aware of this?
Will, do you know anything about that? I'll let you.
Our team at State Emergency Management is engaged with both the National Weather Service and NOAA. And we will certainly go back and look at that with our team specifically on if there are any issues or concerns there, but we'd certainly be happy to take those at this point.
And along those lines, Governor, what's your reaction to knowing that there was very little response, like by the time the tornado touched down, there was very little time to react?
So I know that there are continued efforts to improve the warning system for weather-related events. Tornadoes are probably the hardest to predict and to know where they are, and particularly one like this that's in the middle of the night when most people have gone to bed. So I think what needs to happen is people need to look at what happened here and learn from it and see if systems can be improved to try to give people as much warning as possible. I know that there has been extensive improvement over the years in tornado warnings and the ability to predict, but with these tornadoes they come and they touch down and they're sporadic, so they're very difficult to track.
Governor Cooper, can you confirm that the warning that went out was actually after the fact?
I am not aware of that, and I don't know if anybody else knows the answer to that question.
And I do know, talking to our partners, the Weather Service, and living about 2 miles from here myself, talking to our partners, the event really was nothing, and this storm rapidly it was really a small cell, no warnings, no watches, anything. And within a matter of 4 minutes, this went from nothing to rapidly intensified into a tornado. So, just watching it straight on, they did their best to get the warning out. I know I heard the first crack of thunder about 2.5 miles away from here. From that to the storm intensifying was seconds, to the lightning, the wind, and everything, and being able to hear the roar of the tornado 2.5 miles away. So I think they did their best job they could, and it just was a freak storm that developed so fast that we had no chance to respond.
It seems like it was just here. I mean, it just sat down here,
yes,
and then it disappeared.
We tracked it yesterday with the work of the sheriff's office.
Yeah,
we flew it. And
yeah, it was. It set down just outside this community, the first sign of where it touched down, and after this community, it traveled on beyond 17 and on through several miles, at least 20 miles. We tracked it by looking from the air, where you can see where it continued to hit and destroy trees and property through those areas. Fortunately, it was not a place that anyone was living. It was mostly rural areas through pine forests and stuff that way. So we were very fortunate in that way, but it did travel quite a distance.
And all the search and rescue people, they've spanned out throughout the area to be sure that everybody is accounted for?
We have. All of our resources have made sure that everyone's been accounted for, and we've engaged those that have been affected by it.
Thank you.
I did have one resident who told me that that people were knocking on his doors, rescue personnel and responders and sheriff's deputies were knocking on his doors just minutes after the tornado happened. So that's a positive response, trying to check on people and making sure people are okay. So. Is Commissioner Causey here? Is he here? I thought he was here a little earlier. Other questions? All right. All right. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
So there are no more missing people. You guys got it all.